I don't know what that means. Oh, baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle? What is up, homies? Today I thought we'd go on a little field trip. Recently, I thought Jermaine and I could use some time to just be. So last Thursday night, I decided I was planning an outing. Come along and experience Desert X with us. Fair warning, my car needs new tires, so most of Desert X. While Jermaine drives us there, I thought I'd give you a little info on Desert X.
Desert X is produced by the Desert Biannual, a not-for-profit 501 charitable organization founded in California. Conceived to produce recurring, international, contemporary art exhibitions that activate desert locations through site-specific installations by acclaimed international artists. Its guiding purposes and principles include presenting public exhibitions of art that respond meaningfully to the conditions of desert locations, the environment, and indigenous communities, promoting cultural exchange and education programs that foster dialogue and understanding among cultures and communities about shared artistic, historical, and societal issues, and providing an accessible platform for artists from around the world to address ecological, cultural, spiritual, and other existential themes.
We are on Thrush Road, going to this Desert X exhibit.
As you can see, off in the distance, Jermaine and I have made it to our first stop of the day. However, for most of these installations, no matter where you park, it is quite a walk to the actual exhibit, so, unlike us, come prepared.
Love the wilderness.
On our trek there, I'll give you a bit of history on Desert X. The history of Desert X is short but mighty. It is an organization founded on the love of contemporary art and its ability to create cross-cultural dialogue while simultaneously engaging audiences and artists who find the walls of museums and galleries somewhat stifling. Its mission has always been ambitious, seeking to present curated exhibitions of site-specific work by international artists who can amplify the beauty of the desert environment, while also creating a visual response to issues of vast importance to today's global citizenry. The first Desert X took place in 2017, included 16 artists who created works for location from Whitewater Preserve to Coachella. The exhibition and each of the artists received grand acclaim. The second edition, in 2019, featured 18 artists, whose works again stretched across the valley, but this time venturing to its southern reaches with installations around, in, and on the Salton Sea. In 2020, the organization engaged in its first exhibition outside the United States and helped realize a project in the AlUla Desert of Saudi Arabia, bringing together artists from across that region as well as those from Europe and the US. In 2021, with a global pandemic and racial and political protests as the backdrop, Desert X 21 offered an exhibition of 12 works for our time. Turquoise Dyson describes herself as a painter working across multiple mediums to explore the continuity between ecology, infrastructure, and architecture. Liquid, a Place, is part of an ongoing series that started from the premise that we are the water in the room, inviting viewers to consider their bodily interconnection with rivers and oceans that surround us. After all, around 60% of our bodies and 70% of the planet is water, and these waters circulate across our bodies and the planet as they shift states from solid to liquid to gas. By employing drawing, sculpture, performance, writing, and multimedia installation, Paloma Contreras Lomas addresses topics such as patriarchy, violence, class segregation, colonial guilt, and constructed middle-class identity with a cinematic sense of humor. Visitors encounter a dated car that is screeched to a halt in Sunnylands. An absurd array of tangled limbs of two mysterious characters wearing long hats crawl out of the car and onto the site's pristine, manicured grounds. Viewing hours at Sunnylands are 8:30 to 4 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. Definitely download the app for planning purposes and more info on all exhibitions. Rana Begum is a British Bangladeshi artist whose work blurs boundaries between painting, sculpture, design, and architecture. Responding to the ubiquity of the chain link fence as a pattern spread across the Coachella Valley, a material that is meant to protect but also carries associations of violence, Begum diffuses the material's role as a divider through her manipulation of its form and color. Gerald Clark is an artist, university professor, cowboy, and Korea tribal leader. He is known for deriving inspiration from his heritage and expressing traditional ideas in contemporary forms, such as mixed media sculptures, paintings, works on paper, videos, performances, and installations. Catalyzing active learning, the maze-like structure invites visitors to walk on it and move according to instructions deriving from a game of cards, rewarding the player with new ways of viewing and understanding the landscape. Now when we were arriving, there was a woman there who was done with the excursion, and on her way out, she handed us some physical cards. You can play Immersion online at desertx.org or by downloading the app.
Oh, thank you. While we were here, somebody said desert next, because I'm up next to my art exhibit.
Lauren Bond is an artist whose practice embraces environmental activism. Bond and Metabolic Studio have created a poetic object that submerges visitors in the deep past and the distant future, taking inspiration from plants which metabolize sunlight into energy, and the blue whale, the largest animal known to have lived on Earth. Now, unfortunately for us, this installation was locked up when we arrived, but I was able to get you some footage from desertx.org.
It's in the ground.
Born and raised in Sacramento, California, Kyrie Nichols' photos of landscapes, sunsets, monuments, and architectural vernaculars of his adopted town of Neville, Tennessee, are the unassuming documents of a young man whose eye was drawn to the moments of beauty and evanescence that shape the rituals of daily life. This work, now celebrated as part of Desert X, represents not just a vision that was brutally denied the opportunity to develop, but the potential of all those individuals whose lives have been lost to the state-sanctioned violence of institutional racism. This can be seen on your way out of Palm Springs and Geometry Trail,